Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a comprehensive guide to real estate contracts. We'll explore the different types of contracts, highlight the key components you need to know, walk through the processes involved, and share best practices to help you navigate property transactions successfully. Whether you're new to real estate or looking to sharpen your understanding, this presentation will provide valuable insights to support your journey in the property market. Let's get started. When we talk about real estate contracts, we're referring to legally binding agreements between the parties involved in a property transaction. These contracts are crucial because they clearly define the rights and responsibilities of both the buyer and the seller, which helps to avoid any confusion or disputes down the line. Think of these contracts as a protective measure. They make sure that important details like the price, conditions, and timelines are formally agreed upon and can be enforced by law. By understanding the purpose and how these contracts work, you build a solid foundation that allows you to navigate property deals with confidence and clarity. Let's talk about the most common types of real estate contracts you'll encounter. First, there are purchase agreements. These contracts lay out all the essential terms for buying and selling property, like the price, any contingencies that need to be met, and the closing date. Next, we have leases. These agreements set the rental terms between property owners and tenants, clearly defining the length of the lease, payment details, and responsibilities of both parties. Lastly, options give a potential buyer the right to purchase a property within a specific time frame under agreed upon terms, offering flexibility and control without the immediate commitment. Understanding these contracts is crucial for navigating real estate transactions confidently. When looking at contracts, it's important to understand some key components that keep everything clear and secure for both parties. First, the identification of parties is crucial. The contract needs to clearly state who the buyer and seller are to avoid any confusion about who is involved. Next, the property description must be precise. Every detail about the property should be included, so there's no ambiguity about what exactly is being bought or sold. Then we have the price and payment terms, which specify the total cost and outline how and when payments will be made. Finally, contingencies are conditions that need to be satisfied for the contract to stay valid, like getting financing approval or passing inspections. These safeguards help protect everyone's interests throughout the transaction. When navigating a real estate contract, the process unfolds in four key steps. First, negotiation. This is where all parties come together to discuss the terms and conditions, working towards an agreement that satisfies everyone involved. Next comes drafting. Once terms are agreed upon, they are carefully put into writing, either by legal professionals or the parties themselves, to create a clear and binding contract. The third step is signing. Here, everyone formally signs a document, which shows their consent and commitment to the agreed terms. Finally, we reach the closing stage. This is the critical moment where funds are transferred and ownership officially changes hands, concluding the transaction. Each of these steps is essential to ensure a smooth and successful real estate deal. Let's take a closer look at some important terms and clauses you'll encounter. First, there's earnest money. This is a deposit the buyer makes to show they're serious about purchasing the property. It's a way to demonstrate commitment and good faith. Next, inspection contingencies are critical because they give buyers the right to thoroughly inspect the home. If any problems come up during the inspection, buyers can request repairs or even back out of the deal if the issues are significant. Lastly, financing clauses protect the buyer by making the sale depend on securing a mortgage or loan. This means the buyer isn't locked in if they can't get the necessary financing, which adds an important layer of security. Understanding these terms can really empower you in the buying or selling process. When working with real estate contracts, the first key tip is to use clear language. It's important to avoid ambiguous terms or complicated legal jargon whenever possible, so everyone involved can understand the agreement easily. Next, always seek professional assistance. Realtors and lawyers have the expertise to guide you through the process and help avoid potential pitfalls. Third, take the time to review all documents carefully. Make sure to read every term thoroughly before signing anything to fully understand your commitments. Lastly, communicate openly throughout the entire process. Keeping a transparent and ongoing dialogue with all parties helps prevent misunderstandings and makes the transaction smoother. By following these tips, you can reduce confusion, avoid errors, and ensure a more efficient and successful contract experience. On this slide, we're focusing on common pitfalls that can occur in contracts and how to avoid them. First, ambiguous language is a major issue. Using vague terms can easily lead to disputes because everyone might interpret those terms differently. Next, missing signatures are a critical problem. Without all the necessary signatures, a contract can be invalid or may cause delays in processing. Another frequent pitfall is unrealistic contingencies. These are conditions that are difficult or even impossible to meet, which can stall or derail the agreement. To avoid these problems, it's essential to conduct a thorough review of the contract. Draft it clearly to eliminate any confusion and make sure all formalities, like signatures, are properly completed. Doing this protects your interests and helps ensure a smooth transaction. To wrap things up, the first key point is understanding the fundamentals of real estate contracts. When you have a solid grasp of these basics, you can approach transactions with much more confidence. Next, it's important to focus on the key components within these contracts. Being able to recognize different contract types and paying close attention to critical terms and contingencies can make all the difference. Equally important is prioritizing clear communication throughout the process. Don't hesitate to seek professional advice when something isn't clear. That can save a lot of trouble down the road. By following these steps, you'll help ensure that your contracts are secure and that property transactions proceed smoothly from start to finish.